I'm sitting here with Nina, which owns her own business and is a part of Team Denmark. I'm just going to ask her some questions just about the team and how she prepared the team to forward to the championships. So how do you prepare the team and such like that?
You probably should mention that I'm a sports psychologist and that I work as a sports psychologist in a cooperation with Team Denmark, and that's why I'm here with our national team in bowling. And beside that, I have my own practice and is working as a regular psychologist. But in this area, I'm working with the bowlers, and I prepare them for the pressure they meet when they get out on the lane and when they are in the spotlight, and how they can handle it so that they don't lose the focus and make mistakes. That's all about not making mistakes, and it sounds so easy not to do that, but that could be, it could take a while to get used to the pressure. So I talk with them about the pressure.
How do you prepare them? Is there some special things you do, or some methods or something you use, or is it just that you are really clever or something like that?
Well, the nerves and the pressure, I can't take that away from them, but they need to learn to accept that that's the way it feels when you're standing in the spotlight. And sometimes people have a kind of, they think that it's a lot of fun to be in the spotlight, but actually it's rather not. It's rather uncomfortable. And I teach them that it's okay to feel nervous, that it's okay, it's not fun, and not to be afraid of those feelings, so that those feelings won't, well, you can say, disturb them and make them out of focus, bring them out of focus. So it's not something about take away the feelings. It's a much more about how can I cope with the feelings, how can I learn to accept them and still keep focus.
How do you see your role in the future for the Danish national team? Could there be something for the youth too, or do you think you're gonna have a role with the bowling, or like the whole national team, or something like that?
Well, it's a very good question. It depends on how my cooperation with Team Denmark, how that's gonna look like in the future. We have a very good. I think the bowlers is glad that I'm here and the work that we have been doing. So I would think it would be something that we would keep doing, but who knows? And it's not the only sports I'm working with. I also have several others like shooting, swimmers, BMX and other things. So I see that my role as a sports psychologist is something that is growing in general.
Is there similar things you ask people, or when you're consulting people, is it the same things you're asking if it's a BMX cycling, or is it something else when it's bowling, or is something similar to, is it the same pressure you're feeling, or is it just similar, or is there a lot of difference?
Well, every sport, every athlete has to deal with the pressure. It's no different, but how they feel the pressure and how it affects them, that's very individual. So I always talk to them about how they feel the pressure, how it makes them lose focus, or how it's, what it's doing to them as that individual they are. So it's nothing in general I ask about. It's not general question. I always try to be curious about that exact person I'm sitting in front of. How is he or she experience the way about being in the spotlight? And then we have a lot of talk about that.
Do you think you're one of the reasons that the Danes here are doing so well at the championships when they're in the spotlight?
Well, I will not take that honor. It's they are very, very competent players, and I'm sure they have done very well even without me. But perhaps I can bring a little calmness to the nerves, because we've talked about it, so they can keep their focus and then use all the potential. But I'm pretty sure they would have done very well even without me.
Thank you. I think that was it. Thanks. Those were some good answers.
Welcome.
I'm sitting here with Mikael Bay and Mikael Brandeskov, and I'd like to ask him some questions. How do you prepare your team for a championship like this?
Well, we do a lot of preparation with the team, working together, working as a group. That's very important to us. We do some practice where we need to help each other instead of just playing one another. So we do a lot of preparation for the team as a group instead of just being 6 individuals. That's very important to us.
How important is it do you do a lot of exercises in team building and stuff like that, or do you just bowl when you have your camps?
We mostly bowl, but we also have some preparation with the psychologists to prepare the players for situations. Start making people think as a team, as a group. Like being in a group, take responsibility for the group, and instead of just being themselves. And then we also have practice on the lanes, doing things on the lanes, where we work as a group to, open the lanes as a group and all that. That's also a very important thing to us.
How important is the mental game of bowling? How do you prepare your players when you're standing in the final, and do you have a psychologist or something like that, or is it just you and Mikael preparing him for it?
It starts. Actually, we try to do the same like we do from start of the tournament, and every time we throw a shot, we just try to do exactly the same thing. Not thinking about the environment, about the spectators or anything, expectations from them. We're just trying to throw the best shots ever, and then we have a plan with the players. How can they do the best shots every time? And some is the approach, some is how they stand at the foul line, and all that. So we have small things with each player that makes them throw the best shots every time. And that's what we are trying to do. Just throw good shots, one at a time.
What are your roles in the team, and what are you giving to the team?
Well, we don't actually have any roles as such, but we are aware of what we have to give to the team in order for the team to perform well. And we're just trying to. We do a lot of value-based training, meaning. We are trying to, instead of trying to reach a certain goal as a medal, like we're trying to make every player comfortable and in order for him to perform his best. If they perform to the best, we're almost certain to have a medal. So we don't have to focus on medals. We just have to focus on the individual and make sure they are comfortable and able to perform.
I heard I was talking with Max Stampe earlier today, and he was saying that it's very important to take one shot at a time and perform every shot as good as you can. Is it things like that you're preparing him for, and trying to make him better to do that instead of thinking results?
Well, we don't want them to focus on results ever, because we cannot. Results is when you focus on the results, you're giving away control, and there's a lot of unknown factors in order to get a certain result. You can have a bad rack that you didn't see, or you can results is also something that involves your opponent, and you cannot control your opponent. So we are trying to focus on things we can control, and that could be take the first couple of steps slower if we know the player needs to have the swing a little bit earlier, for example. It can be all sorts of things. As long as we can control it, we can focus on it. If we can't control it, we don't focus on it. And results is one of the things that we don't want to focus on because we cannot control it, and we get frustrated if things aren't going our way, instead of just trying to focus on the things we are doing right now. So one shot at a time is right, like Mick said. We are trying to make them realize that the only thing you can do something about is what you're just about to do. You cannot change the past, and you can only guess about the future. So we're trying to stay in the present every shot, and that way we are able to succeed a little bit easier.
What are the role for the person not on the lanes? I see you're one of the only teams that are like having two coach all the time. One is behind the lanes and one is on the lanes. What is the meaning of that, and is it that important?
I don't know what the other countries are doing behind the lanes, or even when they're not on the lanes. I have no clue. But what we're doing, we actually scouting. We're scouting 3 pairs ahead every time. So we want to know who started where and what they were using when they started. So we have a little bit of understanding of how the lanes have been evolving from game 1 through game 6, actually. Another thing is the guy on the lanes. I'm the head coach. Michael is the assistant coach, which is just titles. When Michael is on the lane, he's kind of the head coach. He's on the lanes with the players that react well to him, and I'm on the lanes with the players that react well to me. But I'm always, if Michael is on the lanes, I'm always right behind. When I'm not scouting the lanes, of course, but to make sure that if there's any doubt, Michael will consult me. When I'm on the lanes, it's the opposite. If I'm having a little bit of doubt, I consult Michael. So in that regard, we are equal.
How do you use that information you get when? Isn't it hard to use the information you get when people are starting on 3 lanes ahead? Because you don't see, like, if you have a block of 6 series, you can scout 3 lanes forward, and you have to see who started on the lane, because they are deciding how the pair is turning out. Or isn't that correct? You can take that.
Yeah. Of course, it's hard because we don't know the players. We don't know. We can see which balls they're using, but we don't know how old the balls are. We can see something about the surface, but there's a lot of things. We're just trying to watch reactions. We're just trying to watch, I don't know, special things, something that we see out of the ordinary, something that's where we see good reactions. So we're trying to actually just to look good reactions, bad reactions, how the ball is behaving down lane, pick up early, go too far, to see. And then of course we know this center pretty well. So we are using our experience also to see if our experience matches up with the things we see on the lane. So we're trying to match things up and to see if we can see something special that we need to take care of when we're moving in. And sometimes we see so special things where you do big jumps or ball changes immediately. So we're trying just to see something. Does it seem like it's more or less the same, or is it special, and do we need to do good large adjustments immediately? So it's pretty hard to see, okay, we have to go 2 boards left or 2 boards right on this pair. Not things like that we see, but just trying to see if, okay, how are their balls rolling.
And I think this is going to be the last question. Do you have any funny routines before you're bowling or after you're bowling or something? Do you have anything you do that's like mentally or something like that where you are believing it?
Not really.
Not really, no.
The only thing we have an agreement that we'll be on the lanes 30 minutes before, and afterwards, immediately after we're done, regardless of how it went, whether it was really good or really bad. The players store the balls in the ball store and they come immediately to where we have agreed. So right after we have an evaluation of the squad. That way we have everything fresh in our memories, and we have to be able to talk about everything regardless of our mood. So that may be a mental exercise sometimes, especially when things haven't turned out the way we wanted them to turn out. So.
And last, I heard you had a like competition. So I'm just gonna make a shout out. Go like Michael's or the other Michaels post on Facebook. They're having a like competition, and I heard Michael Branesco leads the competition. So.
Yeah, of course, I leads. A podium selfie, that must take the most likes for sure. That's a podium gold selfie. That's the best thing you can do.
And do you have anything to say that can make your post better?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Add me on Facebook and like my pictures. That's about it. Michael, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.